Hobbit, y'all. Good morning again. I'm really nervous, so excuse me. um, when I first agreed to do this sermon, I was going to use the knowledge I acquired in Education for Ministry, which is a 4-year course on the Bible and the history of Christianity that I took when I was an Episcopalian and a daughter of the King. But after thinking about it a while, I remembered that that experience left me more unsettled and with not many more usable tools to understand life. There is a reason that the 4th year is called Faith for the Troubled Believer. Everyone in the class was definitely troubled by the 4th year. So I decided instead to use the experiences and lessons I learned in the School of Hard Knocks, which with my major was in learning it the hard way. Life and the events that happened to me taught me more than I could ever learn just by reading the Bible. For I believe strongly that no one needs to be saved. We are all children of the universe. No one needs to do anything. We are all equal and loved. There is no hell but the ones that we create. But as you will hear, my story is different. It's the only story I've got to tell you, and I hope no one gets offended because there is some Christian stuff. Take what you like and leave the rest. My life started in San Francisco, born with 2 alcoholic parents. They fought violently when I was 4, and my mother ended up running out the door and never coming back. My dad worked full-time as a bookbinder, and I lived with some friends during the week. One day when I was 6, he showed up with a woman and introduced her as his new wife, Jenny. After she came onto the scene, it was like I just disappeared. I was told kids are to be, seen and not heard. Due to his rage and alcohol addiction, we never had anyone visit, no aunts, cousins, uncles, anybody, and certainly no friends. And due to his brother's demise when young, I believe he felt that he had to keep me protected from life. This, however, felt like a prison to me. No friends over, no after-school activities, no birthday parties. Due to his being atheist, there was also no spiritual home. Nothing except work. I was taught to keep the entire house in order, to cook, clean, and cut the grass. I became Cinderella. I am not trying to make you feel sorry for me. It's important to know these things so you know how I felt alone in the world. I knew Daddy loved me, but he never showed it openly. Life went on. I tried to stay out of trouble, but it was becoming more and more curious about the outside world. I had honor roll grades and was in accelerated classes, but other than school, I had no life. I read books by the stack and started to daydream. By age 13, I had discovered rock and roll, and I think the anger and pain in the words relayed my own emotions. Music became my identity, and books my outlet to the world. I started to make friends in the wrong crowd. Due to my stature and looks, I believed I fit in with the misfits. I had run away the night before my first day of high school. I had to wear the clothes in the donation bin on my first day. They asked me why I ran away, and I said I just ran out the door. I said I didn't want to get beat anymore. My father had been in a rage and was coming for me, and I just ran out the door, no shoes on my feet and just the clothes on my back. Now thinking back, I realized that is exactly what my mom did all those years ago. I was returned home with my father's promise of not beating me anymore. I was 14 when I was awoken in the middle of the night to be told he and Jenny were going to the hospital, that her chili had poisoned him. They left and I never saw him again. He died of sepsis secondary to alcoholism, and we found out that the doctor had told him weeks before that if he had another drink, he would die within 6 months. He never told anybody about this information and sadly chose to drink. So now I literally had no one. I loathed Jenny. My father never beat me and treated me very kindly until she showed up, and I blamed it all on her. I didn't know about the alcoholism or his past trauma. In my mind, it was all her fault. She started going to a Baptist church and taking me. My dad was an atheist, so this was a whole new world for me. I'm going to add something in here that's funny. The first time I heard them singing How Great Thou Art, I shouted, "Hey, that's an Elvis song." I knew who Elvis was. After I went for a bit, something magical happened. One day I decided to go to the front and get saved. Afterward, I felt different. Something washed over me, an inner knowing, a peace, and sureness in my heart. I can't explain it, but it was very powerful. It wasn't because I was now washed of my sins, for I was 14 and didn't even understand that. It was something in my soul, a knowing in my heart. After that, things got crazy at the church and at home. At church, I heard horrible things like, if you don't tell all the people around you about Jesus, then when they die and go to hell, it's your fault. And other absurd things of this nature. Due to my knowing now, I didn't believe them. I just knew that was not true. My heart told me that this wasn't so. At home, I kept running away. Now that Daddy gone, I couldn't stay there. And after much acting out on my part, Jenny made me go live with the preacher. While I lived with him, I saw and experienced horrible behavior, including sexually hitting on me, abusing his wife and son. So, this is a holy man? Once again, my inner knowing said, no, this is man. This is not God. So once again, I ran away, but this time I called the police on myself and told them to take me to juvenile hall. I'd rather be there than here. So they did. I got placed in the best foster home they had. I loved it there. They had a family of 3 and another foster girl named Gina. You have met and gotten to know Gina. This is how we met and became sisters. They were loving and fun, and I experienced what a family felt like for the first time. By now, I was 16. I started doing hard drugs by this time with my older boyfriend. I did have a stay-in-school program job at Travis Air Force Base and got caught up in school from all of the cutting and time that I missed when I ran away. I saved up money and bought my first car and a motorcycle. I thought I was doing great, but the demons were getting stronger. My foster mother asked me how I was losing so much weight, because I've always been a wide glide. And I asked if I was on drugs, and I lied and said no. This lie haunted me. I couldn't stop the drugs, and I couldn't lie and hurt them. So I asked to be emancipated at 17. I moved in with my boyfriend, who was a lot older than me, and we both did drugs continually. I got into trouble with the law. I thought, what have I done with my life? I am in prison again, only this time I did it to myself and have no one else to blame. So I asked for help and went into a recovery program. From there, life changed for the better. I learned so much and got so many tools to deal with life and to learn how to live free of addiction. My first miracle happened one day when I was told if I slept one more day and didn't make it to morning meeting, I would be kicked out. Due to my addiction, I just couldn't stay awake. I was so scared and felt powerless. I screamed at the sky that night, if there is a God, please help me stay awake and get to the meetings. I never had that problem after uttering those words. It was like I bounced out of bed. It sounds like a small miracle, y'all, but it was. I was amazed. Yes, a small miracle, but I never ever asked for help in my life from the universe. I decided to do what they told me to do there because I knew my misery would be funded at the door if I chose to leave and ignore them. I learned about honesty, not cash register honesty, but how to be truly honest with yourself. I am the only person in this world that I can change, and I want to be part of the solution and not part of the problem. I learned about how resentment and how it will eat you up inside and ruin your own life. I learned about open-mindedness and willingness and how these concepts can change your outlook on life if you choose to be open. I learned to find the good in people and situations. But most importantly, I learned about a higher power which can be anything. Today I call mine the universe, and it is loving to all equally, and there is there to help if we only remember to ask. Over the years, I sought to build my relationship with my higher power. I went to church after church, but was never happy with what I saw or heard. I didn't give up. I kept seeking that peace I had found when I was saved. Then, one night, while on the internet, I came across Howard Storm's story of his near-death experience. I read it, and it hit me right in the heart. He asked the being of light, what is the right religion? And the answer was the one that brings you closest to God. We are already one with our Creator. We need do nothing, and that can never be changed. I poured through hundreds of near-death experience accounts, each one different yet the same. It rang true in my heart and rang a multitude of questions I had been struggling with for years. I went and laid on the couch, and I literally felt like I was floating. I was so at peace. My higher power saved me through countless ups and downs in my life. I have started over more times than I can count. I have moved across country twice and raised 2 kids with my own family with no family to help. I struggled with severe depression and anxiety for decades. My life seemed like I was just living in survival mode a lot of the time, but I always picked myself up after being down. In 2001, after struggling with her own demons, my daughter passed away at 27. This was too much for me to take. I felt and became very suicidal. I made plans and was going to carry them out, but decided to try to do things even more differently and ask for help one more time. This time, it came in the form of a reading from an evidential medium. She connected with my Sam. Sorry, I can't see. She connected with my Sam, and through this I became at peace once again because she knew things that no one else could possibly know. It was for sure my daughter. I started meditating more frequently and had quite a few signs from the other side. I came to know in my heart that even though I felt alone again, I never was. I have many guardian angels on the other side looking out for me. My peace returned. When I moved to Oregon, I attended this church because Gina went here and I wanted to check it out. I found it so refreshing to be in a place that has human rights and service to others as their focus. It was nice to be in a blue state also, coming from South Carolina and Trumpism. I felt at home and love our community and all the love we share with each other. In summary, I would say the biggest thing I have learned in my life was that the only person I have power over is myself, and that it is my responsibility each day to make sure I live up to my own ethics. I also learned that I don't have to do it alone, and reaching out to others, both here in person and to a higher power, is always the winning ticket in life. In closing, I would like to share my prayer written by Mother Teresa. My favorite prayer, not my prayer, sorry. I find it, if I follow it, it keeps me at peace and my life is happier and I am more content. And since I believe that God is within, it makes perfect sense. People are often unreasonable, illogical, and self-centered. Forgive them anyway. Ruh-roh. If you are kind, people may accuse you of being selfish, ulterior motives. Be kind anyway. If you are successful, you will win some false friends and some true enemies. Succeed anyway. If you are honest and frank, people may cheat you. Be honest and frank anyway. What you spend years building, someone could destroy overnight. Build anyway. If you find serenity and happiness, they may be jealous. Be happy anyway. The good you do today will often be forgotten tomorrow. Do good anyway. Give the world the best you have, and it may never be enough. Give the best you've got anyway. You see, in the final analysis, it is between you and God. It was never between you and them anyway. Thank you.